Another thing that we do want to think about is this idea of how do I know whether or not a point is on the circle, or if a point is inside or outside the circle? Now, let's go back here where we have our just generic equation for a circle with any radius. Oops, need to turn this back on. Obviously, if we have a graph and we want to know, oh, is the point 3, 4 on the circle? Well, we can just plot that point and see whether or not it is. But sometimes it's not as simple as just looking at it on the graph. So one thing to think about is you can, and something that's really fun, is thinking also about circles as inequalities. Every point that's inside the circle we can think of as every point that is its x squared plus its y squared is less than its radius. All right, there we have an inequality that represents every point inside the circle. Or if we want to think about every point outside the circle, x squared plus y squared, or y squared plus x squared, is greater than r squared. And now we're looking at every point that is outside the circle. So if you're given an equation for a circle and you're given a point, you can look at, oh, is that distance, okay, if we plug in, that point for x and y, is it inside the circle? Is it outside the circle? Is its distance to the origin greater than, less than, or equal to our radius? So let's look at just a quick problem like that. So I have my circle x squared plus y squared equals 25. Once again, our radius is 5. And I want to know, is this point 2, 4 on the circle, inside the circle, or outside the circle? Now, sometimes you can sort of common sense this, especially with something like a radius of 5, where we know, oh, the point 3, 4 is on the circle, so 2 is less than 3, so this has to be inside the circle. But you can always just check it mathematically. We can look at, if we plug in 2 for x and 4 for y, what does that equal? Well, that's 4 plus 16, which is 20. And 20 is less than 25, which means our point 2, 4 is inside the circle. So that's something you can do. It's a question that is something that my class will be asked, and you may be asked in your class is, what about this point? Inside the circle, outside the circle, on the circle. So just plug in the coordinates for x and y in your circle equation and figure out, is it greater than, less than, or equal to the radius.